For as long as she can remember, this management consultant, coach, and speaker has kept a hectic schedule, jumping from one activity to the next. She has made a career of helping many of the world's busiest people reclaim their time. Now she's sharing those strategies with a much wider audience. Here to talk about Workday Warrior, a proven path to reclaiming your time, is author Ann Gomez. Now, let's go back to what inspired you to write the book. When did you realize that you had to come up with a better, more efficient way of managing your own time?
This goes back 20 years ago. I was a management consultant and putting in a lot of time, a lot of effort, but not seeing the results that I wanted to see. And looking around and seeing, yes, some of my colleagues were struggling with the volume, with the intensity, but others were thriving. Others seemed to have a much better handle on this same volume of work. And I looked at them and I said, I want to be like them. That's when I became really interested in studying productivity.
Now, you identify three specific time barriers, and that is too many priorities, too much
Mhm.
flexibility, and too much complication. How do we overcome these?
Okay, so the first thing that we all want to do, and this is such a great time of year to do that, is to be really clear on what are our core priorities. And when I ask people about their core priorities, I often hear a laundry list. Like there's a lot that we all want to do. But there's great research out there that shows that when we concentrate our efforts, and this is very common sense as well, when we concentrate our efforts, we can spend more time on what we value most. And so what's the sweet spot of how many priorities we can manage at any one time? That's the golden question. And the answer is 3. It's not 4, it's not 5. I've tested. It's not 8, 9, 10. A lot of organizations out there are asking their people to do too much at the same time. A lot of driven people want to do it all now. But we can really manage 3 core priorities. And that can be big initiatives. Like if you are in client service, serving your clients can be one core priority. If you manage a large team, that managing that team is another core priority. Each of these core priorities has a number of activities, but we really want to be clear on what those 3 core priorities are.
Now, the heart of the Workday Warrior approach, as you've alluded to just now, seems to be clarify, fortify, and simplify. That kind of sounds easier said than done, though.
It does. And I would say it is easy. I would say that we don't have to overcomplicate time management, right? So clarify is stop trying to do everything at the same time. Be clear on your core priorities. And in the book, we talk about a priority management tool called your map to help manage those. Fortify is really pay yourself first with your time, right? Block time off for those core priorities before you give your time away to everything else, right? There's so many things vying for our time and attention. So if we pay ourselves first, and we fortify those boundaries around what we value most, then we can just kind of be distracted and indulge to our heart's content with the leftover time. But don't allow those discretionary tasks to have prime billing in your day. And then simplify is, I don't know about you, John, but I can be really good at overcomplicating, overthinking things, going into the weeds and complicating work. And the simplify filter is really about how do we scale back, streamline, and seek help so we can move through what we're trying to do faster. And what I find is senior people who've really leveled up through the ranks in their career, they're very good at simplifying, right? They don't feel the need to analyze 98 options. They look at 3 options, they take advice from their team, and they make decisions fast. Right. So there's things that we can do to simplify our lives as well.
I think a lot of the unspoken wisdom in the book is the power of saying no, of not taking on everything that comes your way. Is there some truth to that?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's sprinkled throughout the 3 sections, right? And no doesn't have to be a firm, like never, right? It can be a very collaborative no, like, hey, John, that's a great idea. And I'd love to work with you on that. I can't right now. Can we revisit that in 2 months? Right? Or, hey, John, that's a great idea. I'd love to give you some ideas. I just can't be fully involved in the project, right? So there's different ways that we can say no, and we share some of those. I share my, supported by all the advisors that I've tapped into to write this book. We share some of those ideas in part 3.
Now, there's an action plan at the very end of the book, reinforcing all the concepts you laid out. How important is it for the reader to have the chance to put those ideas into action?
Absolutely. I mean, anything that we're trying to learn requires implementation. We coach people on this. We train people on these skills. And what we always talk about is the learning part is easy, right? It's like we can absorb ideas. Its implementation is so crucial. And so one of the aspects, the recommendations that I talk about in the book is read this book with a buddy and hold each other accountable and read part one and then come back and work together to help each other build the tool that supports part one. Then go away, read part two, and come together and build the tool together, hold each other accountable.
An accountability partner, as you put in the book.
Accountability partner, so crucial.
And ultimately, then, what do you hope folks get out of the book?
I hope that they feel more in control of their day. I hope that I know they work hard. I know they have great goals. I hope they feel better about those goals. They feel like they're making more progress and they feel that they've got this great balance, right? So they can sleep, they can spend time with the people they love, they can indulge in their hobbies. Right? They don't feel like they have to work all the time to achieve their big goals. So they have the big impact and they have that balance, which feels like this has been, there's this cynicism about that work-life balance, but it is attainable. We just need to make sure that we're applying the best of the best in terms of time management.
The name of the book is Workday Warrior, A Proven Path to Reclaiming Your Time. It's available from Dundurn Press. My thanks to author Anne Gomez.
Thank you so much, John.